Yo, for the first time today, I'm super hyped to be talking about Daniel Arsham. I've been a fan of his for a long time, but I've never been able to cop any of his art, and I definitely don't call it art lightly. But when they announced the Mattel Creations x Daniel Arsham Hot Wheels collaboration, I was like, well, I already got the Run the Jewels Hot Wheels, which I really thought was extremely dope. Why not cop this one? So that's exactly what I did. They dropped their Lap 1 release, which is this large eroded super rally case that holds 8 Hot Wheels that were designed specifically for this drop. Not to mention the Porsche 930 that came with the rally case. Now there's so much to talk about on this video. I need y'all to bear with me because this thing is indeed a piece of art. It was created, designed, and packaged that way. So there was this like disconnect I realized between diehard Hot Wheels collectors and like your hype beast type collectors who really just went to cop this because of Daniel Arsham attached to it. And it was pretty interesting to see the different reviews of this online because there were a lot of mixed opinions. While me, I totally ate all of this up. The diehard Hot Wheels collectors, well, some of them weren't really buying this at all. And by buying, I mean they weren't into all of the white glove nonsense, the color selection, and all of that. And again, like I said, I was completely into it. Let's start with the packaging. The rally case was extremely well packaged. In fact, it came in 3 boxes, okay? The first box was the shipping box, had some styrofoam corners on it. Within that shipping box, there was another box that was more of a slipcase type deal that was sealed. The top of it had glue on it, and after watching a couple reviews, I realized that I bypassed a major thing because I did not read the entire box. It actually had a specific point where they suggested you open it from, which was the bottom. I, on the other hand, I ripped it open from the top like a savage. On the bottom of that box, there's a serial number, there's an official seal on it, and in typical Daniel Arsham form, there's kind of an explanation to this. Now, if you sat there and you read the packaging, this is a whole experience that is meant to be created by the artist for the person who's purchasing this. Now, Daniel Arsham has a reoccurring theme where things are like eroded with crystals in them because when they're designed, the thought process behind it, imagine you're an archaeologist and you are finding something from the past. So this is designed in present time for the future with the imagination of finding this thousands of years later, and it's eroded, crystallized, and this is what it looks like now. So if you could wrap your head around that, you could start to understand some of the design process behind this. So after you open that other box that also gives you years, dates, and all types of information like archaeological data, there is yet another box in there. Now this box is probably why the price tag of this is so high, because this packaging is insane and has a lot of detail to it. And I was just like, all right, this is dope. When you open the other box, the top layer has gloves on it and they suggest that you put these on, right? So again, it's all about the experience. From when you get the shipping box of most of the Hot Wheels stuff says cue dramatic opening theme music or something like that on it. So it's really about like the adult collector and the experience you get throughout the entire process, from the packaging all the way to getting your actual toy out of the case or whatever it comes in. The box opens up with the lid. There's some magnets there. It comes with a certificate of authenticity, and then you have the rally case. The rally case is plastic, and I kind of expected that, but I thought I initially in my mind thought that there were going to be actual crystals, kind of like his other relic stuff, but that would have probably cost a fortune to make, and then that fortune would have been passed on to us. I'm not really that mad at it, although just because I want a real Daniel Arsham piece, I would have loved to have the crystals on this. The case is magnetic and it pops open, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slots for 8 future releases. The back of the case has like this frosted, is see-through, but it's kind of frosted, and it's really intended for whoever owns this when they open it up to look like they're looking through like the fog of a memory. when they see it. So there's a lot of detail, and this thing is well thought out. I think what a lot of people have missed out on this is because the colors are like these very simple, flat, muted, whites, blues, or whatever colors they are. They're not like your typical bright, vibrant Hot Wheel. I think a lot of people just didn't get it, which is completely okay because everybody collects for their own reasons. But one of the things I recently found out is allegedly Daniel Arsham can only see about 20%, like he's 80% colorblind. So the 20% of the colors he can't see is what he focuses on designing with those colors. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I didn't fact check it, but if you know, drop it in the comments. I also got to say, since I'm not a Hot Wheels collector, I did not think about what I signed myself up for. When I bought the case and the car, just kind of thought that was it. Like, I didn't do any extra research. I saw Daniel Arsham, I saw Hot Wheels. I'm like, this is something I want to cop and add to my collection because I think it would be displayed really, really dope. I didn't realize that the rally case is gonna have 8 slots, and why would they only have 2 cars when there's 8 slots in the case? So I kind of committed myself to buying 6 other Hot Wheels toys. They're releasing these in laps. So I copped the first lap and the second lap, which are 2 additional other Hot Wheels cars, which we'll talk about when we get those. Fun fact behind the rally case, this is the first time Hot Wheels have ever approached any artist to redo the rally case. And the design that was redid was from the original 1968 rally case when Hot Wheels officially launched, with the original 16. There's a few milestones here. There's the Daniel Arsham fact, right, which makes this extremely collectible, but it's also a big first for Hot Wheels. And when I mentioned the original 16, and now I'm not 100% sure, but I can guess that the original 16 are referred to as the first original 16 Hot Wheels that were released that could be put in the case. With that being said, that in its own is probably a big Hot Wheels grail, and this may be a future Hot Wheels grail in a few thousand years from now. The rally case also came with the Eroded Porsche 930, and I've seen the Porsche alone sell for over $300, which is more than what this whole case cost. So there definitely already is some collectability. There's also a real life replica of this Porsche 930 that Daniel Arsham actually designed, which is actually incredibly dope. And they released a smaller scale version of that, which is fetching over a couple $1,000s on StockX and eBay. I know there was some challenges because this is not a typical Hot Wheels production car. They've used different materials for this. To my knowledge, the car body is silkstone, which I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it's not metal and it's stone-like. So there probably were some challenges making this on production. And I think everything else is true to Hot Wheels standard. Maybe the wheels may be different. I'm not too sure about that. Again, I'm not a Hot Wheels guy, so I wouldn't know. But if you know, I'd love for you to put me on and let me know the deal on this. There were no number of these released. The case retails for $200 and the cars all went for $70. And I really think Hot Wheels released this obviously because they're looking to get new collectors in the space, and they may have got one with me, especially if they keep doing these really dope collaborations. Hopefully they don't cost as much as these because, man, it's really hard to pay $70 for a small car. And I can completely get how some of these artistic elements may feel a little pretentious and a little over the top and, can make people mad. For some reason, art inspires emotions. One of those emotions to people who don't really buy or follow art like that is anger, and they're like, yo, why the hell am I gonna pay $70 for this little car? And I even saw a YouTube video where someone tried to remake this because they claimed how simple it would be, and they drilled a bunch of holes and they just kept overspraying a white spray paint on it. And yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is, right? You either like it or you don't. And don't get me wrong, I don't think the collectors, the diehard collectors are wrong, and I don't think the people who are Arsham fans or hypebeast type collectors are wrong. Listen, you have your own reasons for collecting, and that's all that matters. There was a lot of detail and thought put into this release. And now we're going to talk about the Eroded Roger Dodger. This was also sold separately during the time of this release, and it retailed for $70. And what's really, really dope about this, what really made me say wow, and I said wow the entire time opening this package, was when you do this, look at that. Boom. It just lifts right up. Clever little packaging. Now the seal on here, like the seal on this, is something you had to grab a box cutter and slice open. And I was a little skeptical about doing that because I was like, damn, if I slice too deep, I may scratch whatever's in there. But this is so well thought out, there's no way in hell you would scratch through this. Now, I don't know much about cars and the name Roger Dodger or where it came from, but I could have spent hours really trying to dig into this. And I'm not a car guy, so I didn't. I'm a collector, and I like this, and I like things that look dope in my shelf, because when I'm done with my studio, and it's been 4 years of working on this, this is episode 498, I think. I'm not even sure what episode this is. No, this is episode 499. Just to give you a little insight, I'm one video away from 500 full-length reviews on various collectibles in the hip-hop world. And I wanted to make 499 a special one because this, to me, is an incredibly dope set, especially made for collectors, adult collectors. And I call myself an adult very loosely. Now, if you plan on copying this and you missed the first releases, you're probably going to pay somewhere between $300 to $400 for the Eroded Rally case because it already has jumped up in price. If you wanted the car by itself, it would probably cost you cheaper to buy them together than by itself. And if you wanted the Roger Dodger, I've seen that sell for about 90 to like 130 in various auction scenarios, so good luck with that. But if, like me, you cop these two when they dropped and the last two laps when they dropped, you're probably spending somewhere close to $800 on completing this entire set, which is kind of what I signed myself up for. Next time, I'm gonna take a little more time and read the fine print or think about the things that I buy. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know if I missed any important details. I hope to catch you next time. Peace.